We got a 1-2 punch tonight. If you want more inspiration, more motivation, more power to start your 2016 in an upward and profitable mode, punch number 2 is awaiting. Beverly Murray, this is her 8th speech out of the CC manual. The title of her speech is Shift Your Brilliance. As Beverly would say, shift your brilliance. Beverly, as we begin 2016, if you want to shift to make more positive thinking or seek to make significant changes in your life, personal and professional, this speech may provide food for thought and a catalyst for action. Enjoy shifting your brilliance. Enjoy Beverly Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I want to introduce a book. It's called Shift Your Brilliance. And the author of this book, the handsome man on the back, is Simon Theophilus Bailey. Simon has written 7 books, so he's an author, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a life coach, and he's the CEO of a company called Harness the Power of You, Inc. Now, I've had the opportunity to hear him speak and meet him, see my book is signed, several times, and I actually have 6 of the 7 books that he's written. Has anyone ever played that kids game? Simon says, hold your hand up, and Simon says, do this, and then you get out when you don't do what Simon says? Well, his first book is Simon Says, Show Your Brilliance. The last book is Shift Your Brilliance. And really, this book is about changing the way that you think to be more positive. And it's a concept that he actually calls vuja de. Everybody's heard of deja vu, right? Did it the same way? Vuja de means I'm looking at it differently. I might be doing the same thing, but I'm looking at it in a very different way. And I want to share a quick personal experience that might illustrate that for you. I applied for a job. Interview blew the socks off of me. Did a really, really good job with everything. But somebody else got the job. And the person who got the job, in my opinion, wasn't as good as I was. Didn't have the amount of education that I had. What she really had was a better relationship with the people who were hiring. So some of you would call it a suck-up, some of you would call it, whatever you would call it. And my way of thinking was really destructive. For my vuja de moment, I started to say, maybe she builds relationships in a way that I need to embrace. Perhaps that experience, although, I still think I was a better candidate, but although that experience wasn't pleasant, maybe what I should take from it is a different way of looking at how to apply for a job. Build relationships with the people that you want to work with, So maybe it was a valuable lesson, and that was my vuja de. I have some audience help tonight because I kind of wanted to talk about what shifting your brilliance in life might do for you. So Dorothy is going to help me. So Dorothy, when you shift your brilliance, what happens?
When people shift their brilliance, they let go of what's not working and embrace what will work.
Alan, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you bless and release what is no longer relevant to your destiny.
Jeff, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you become the missing piece to the puzzle of the right situation.
Dale, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you realize that the future is for sale, and you buy it when you decide to own the moment.
When you shift your brilliance, what happens?
When you shift your brilliance, you move from seeking success to finding significance.
Terry, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you stop pushing your way into the future and begin to pour the future toward you.
David, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you wake up to the fact that you are not damaged goods, but sometimes you can be in a damaging situation.
Linda, what happens when you shift your brilliance?
When you shift your brilliance, you understand that money is energy. Anxiety, stress, and worry zap your energy and cut off your money flow.
All of those things happen when you change the way that you approach situations. Now, Simon Bailey also used to be the manager of sales for our favorite Musketeer company, Walt Disney. And he went to a dinner with the founder of Walt Disney one day, or the president, I'm sorry, the CEO. And he gets there early, and their name tags sitting there. And he tells a story and says, well, he took this, he says, what would you do if you weren't sitting next to the president? He says he's not proud of it, but he changes the name tag so that he's sitting next to him. And then he gets to ask him a question. And he's like, what can I do to be successful at Disney? And what do you think the answer was? Anybody? Somebody give me a guess.
Be yourself.
And be yourself. Anybody?
Shift your brilliance.
Shift your The answer really was know your purpose, which is really probably be yourself, right? Simon tells us that we're all born brilliant, okay? And very quickly, there's a study that talks about the fact that at 4 years old, everyone you know is operating at a level of brilliance for the most part. The same people were studied at 20, and only 10% of them continue to operate at the level of brilliance. Because what Simon would tell you, and I am reading a direct quote, and of course I need my glasses, each of us is born brilliant. Then we spend the rest of our lives having our brilliance buried by people, circumstances, and experiences. Eventually, we forget that we ever had genius and special talents, and our brilliance is locked away in a vault deep within. So we settle for who we are instead of striving for who we were meant to be. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Fail, F-A-I-L, ought to be for first attempt in learning. End, E-N-D, doesn't mean end. It means that effort never dies. And if the answer is no, that ought to mean new opportunity. Thank you.